In this video, we're going to show you how to replace the cooling fans in your Nissan Rogue located in the front of your vehicle. With the hood open, we're going to use a 10mm wrench to loosen this nut here and disconnect the ground terminal off the battery. Using your 10mm wrench, go ahead and loosen the nut on the positive terminal. Go ahead and twist that. Right up underneath the bumper here, there is going to be a drain plug for our radiator. You can use a flathead or a Phillips head screwdriver. Go ahead and slowly open that up. Have your drain pan ready to go. Now with the radiator pretty much drained out, you want to go ahead and take your drain plug, inspect the O-ring on here, make sure that is in good condition. If that is flattened out, torn, or shredded in any way, you have to replace that now. Ours is in good condition. Let's go ahead and reinstall this here. We'll snug that up into position here. Once that bottoms out, just give it a little bit more. Want to get to remove our air intake here. There's going to be 3 plastic buttons here. Use your trim tool to go ahead and remove them. Our particular vehicle has different variants of our plastic clips. So we're just going to use different tools to pull them out. Once those are removed, go ahead and pull this up. And we're going to pull the air intake out of the air box where the filter is located. I'm going to use our flathead screwdriver and just kind of lift up on the little tab right here. Pop this out. Do the same for the back side. Pop that off and set that aside. Now on the top here, there are 2 brackets, one on the passenger side, one on the driver's side. There's normally a clip here with a rubber insulator to support the radiator, but ours is missing. Use your 10mm gear wrench. Use your 10mm gear wrench. We want to go ahead and loosen this and remove it. There's normally 2 bolts here, one here, one here. Okay, remove that bolt, set that aside. And go ahead and remove that bracket and the support. Go ahead and twist that up and off. Now this here goes into the top of the AC condenser inside here. So go ahead and set that aside. Using a flathead screwdriver, I want to go ahead and loosen our upper radiator hose. Go ahead and break that free and slide that down. I want to go ahead and take our hose, twist this, and take it off of the radiator. Along the top of the cooling fan here, there's a wiring harness. We're going to use our trim tool to go ahead and pop the plastic retainers here. With that harness separated, let's now go ahead and disconnect the connectors going to both fans. On the top of the connectors right here, there's a little tab. I use my pocket screwdriver to press down on to release the locking clip, and then simply pull it out. I'm going to repeat for the other connector here. To make things a little bit easier, I'm just going to use a securing strap here. I'm going to pull this hose back, secure that out of the way. On the top of the cooling fan, there are 2 10mm bolts. We want to go ahead, loosen, and remove those.
Go ahead and set those aside. Go ahead and grab that cooling fan. You can tilt that out and then grab that and pull it straight up. And go ahead and just work this up and around the wiring harness. And pull that fan out. Now on the bottom portion of our fan assembly here, there's going to be two tabs, one on the right, one on the left. Those are going to fit into the base of our radiator. Let's go ahead and lower this down with one hand. With the other hand, we're going to have to manipulate that wiring harness. Once those tabs are in, the top of the cooling fans should line up with the mounting points on our radiator. Just going to install our mounting bolt right here. All right, I want to go ahead and snug that down. All right, once that's snug, go ahead and repeat for the other side. And you just want to snug those down because you're just securing plastic to plastic. Let's install our wiring harness by pushing our plastic push pins into place. And we can connect our fan assemblies. We're going to install our brackets here. It's going to be a hole here that goes onto the AC condenser on the upper rubber grommet. I want to go ahead and install your hardware. It's going to be one of these on each side to secure this in place. Go ahead and take your bracket. You have the rubber grommet here that goes on the top of the AC condenser post. Slide that down. Let's go ahead and get our bolts installed here. Go ahead and install the rubber grommet on the top. Take your retainer clip, slide that over. Go ahead and snap this into place and we'll repeat for the driver's side. Go ahead and install our air intake tube into the air box. And connect the other intake port down below here. Snap that in. Then we'll go ahead and install our plastic push pins across the front here. I want to go ahead and fill up our radiator here. Going to use the appropriate coolant required from the manufacturer. Once we have our radiator filled up, I'm going to go ahead and remove our fill tools here. Let's go ahead and get our radiator cap installed. Let's go ahead and fill up our expansion tank. Now on the passenger side of the engine, you're going to find the expansion tank here. I'm going to go ahead and add coolant to this here. There is a max and min line on the side of the tank. So you want to go ahead and slowly fill this here and watching that line. Now our max line right now is the actual seam on the tank. There's a max line right there. Min or minimum is at the lower portion of the tank. So we went ahead and filled to that seam. And go ahead and remove our funnel, put on that cover. Now at this point here, you want to go ahead and start up the vehicle, let it run for about 15-20 minutes, let the engine warm up. Then at that point there, you want to go ahead and check the expansion tank here. If that has dropped down, the level has dropped down, go ahead and open this up and add accordingly to this tank here. Never open up the radiator cap when it's hot. Go ahead and take that positive terminal there. Make sure we're clean. Slide that back into place. Using your 10mm wrench, I'm going to go ahead and tighten down the nut. You don't want to over tighten this here. You can actually crush and ruin the terminal itself. So just make sure that's snug, give that post a wiggle, make sure that's nice and solid. Wipe down the negative terminal. Go ahead and grab that. Hook up that wire, and using our 10mm wrench, go ahead and tighten down that nut.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.